Ducks in the Park, Chapter 3. Geez, what a classy joint. The next day I went looking for work. If I was going to stay, I needed money. And to get money, I needed a job. My nest egg wasn't going to support me forever. I picked up a paper and started going through the classifieds. The help wanted listings included accounting clerks, administrative assistants, auto body painters, carpenters, computer programmers, cooks, copy editors, messengers, paralegals, roofers, and window cleaners. It didn't take me long to realize that getting a job around here was going to be tougher than I expected with my lack of work experience. I knew how to work on a farm, but that was about all I knew. Part-time was no good. The full-time jobs required schooling that I didn't have. Things did not look promising. Then I spotted a job that appeared to be too good to be true. The ad read, earn $100,000 or more in just 6 months while helping others. No previous experience needed. Work the hours you choose in what could be the opportunity of a lifetime. Attend the free seminar for details, noon, Monday through Friday. The Master Gains Company can help you get started. I looked at my watch. It was 11:40, so I hurried to make the seminar. Inside, the classroom looked like something set up overnight. People crammed in rows of plastic chairs that faced an empty chalkboard. Twin fans flanked the chalkboard and circulated the hot air around. All this was surrounded by knocked-down walls with giant stickers of the company's logo on each of them. I sat in the front row. A blonde-haired man entered the room from a door in the back. He was wearing a colorful dress shirt and tie. "Do you people want to make money?" he shouted. "Are you tired of being stuck in a dead-end job?" His shoes looked like they came from a discount store. My dad once told me you could tell a lot from a man's shoes. This man's shoes said either he was thrifty or poor. "Good afternoon, people, and welcome to the Master Gains Seminar. I am Greg Edwards. And 4 months ago, I was a hot dog salesman. That's right, I sold hot dogs for a living. Well, one day I told myself, this is wrong. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't feel right. I want to do something better and more rewarding than selling hot dogs. And you know what? I did something about it. A friend of mine was already involved here at Master Gains Company, so I asked him to set me up with a job, and now here I am. I've pulled in over $60,000 already." He was spitting as he talked. "Now I'm here to get you involved. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the company. You might get into it. Our goal is to help society realize the dream of financial freedom. While making money, we put people on the road to debt-free living by consolidating their bills so they spend less each month. It's that simple. And the more people you get involved here at the company, the more you make by adding a percentage of their salaries to yours. Now, who's interested?" The witless drones around me raised their hands. "Okay," Greg laughed. "Fantastic." My dad also said fantastic was a fancy word for bullshit. "Now, for the small price of $300, we can get you signed up." You say small price? I say hell yes. It is truly a small price to pay. For $300, you get certification, on-the-job training, and you start seeing returns on your money the first day. Everyone knows someone in debt, a family member, a friend, and you can help them. Where else can you get so much for so little? College? I don't think so. And this isn't a gimmick. School can take 4 or more years. With the Master Gains Company, in 4 years, you could be a millionaire. This is the job you've been waiting for. I raised my hand. "Excuse me." "Yes, a question," Greg pointed at me. "Is this a joke?" I filled out applications in a few other places, mostly for grunt work, and made my way back to the Cornerstone to relax. The stress and humidity were getting to me. My brain was hurting. I needed to rethink my approach. I turned the block, about to go inside the building, when a small girl playing in the street distracted me. Her hair was dark and frizzy. She was in a white t-shirt with a watermelon on the front, a pair of white and blue checkered shorts, and solid sneakers. Both the shirt and the shorts were too tight on her. Curiously, I watched as she ran back and forth in traffic, cars beeping. She looked too young to be alone. Where the hell were her parents? Why wasn't anyone stopping her? Pedestrians passed her like she wasn't even there. Their summer heat must have been overwhelming because no one would even glance in her direction. I felt the panic setting in when suddenly a gold car with a black vinyl roof slammed on its brakes in front of her. The little girl shrieked as the huge Cadillac careened to a stop, just missing her. The Cadillac window surged down, and the sunglass driver hollered, "Asshole kid!" He was unnerved, and rightfully so. I went over to see if I could help out. The driver gestured to me. "Are you the kid's father?" He had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. "If you are, then I'm going to report you, you shit." He was vulgar and rude. I thought he was going to get out and whack me. I shook my head. No, since I wasn't the child's father. "I'm not, but I live inside. I'm just a neighbor. Although I wish I had been related to her for her sake. She wouldn't have been left unaccompanied." "She's not your kid, you prick. You're both assholes. If you're not the father, you should mind your own business." He put the car into drive and pulled away, almost taking me out with his rear white wall. I watched him flip me the bird out the window until he got lost in traffic. I stood stunned in amazement at how crude he was right in front of the girl. She was staring up at me as if she were lost, her brown eyes filling with tears. She wasn't more than 5 or 6. I tenderly grabbed her hand, wanting to help her. I didn't have a clue what I was going to do, but I wanted her off the street and away from the traffic. "Where do you think you're going?" a woman called out from behind. "That's my kid." I turned, wanting to tell her what kind of a mother she was. "Why are you touching my daughter?" She was right close to my face now, and she was about as attractive as a cow pie, stubby and round. Her hair, an obscure brunette mop that crowned her head to make it look like a mushroom. She was out of breath, huffing and puffing and pointing to the girl. Her arms and fingers were stubby as well. She continued, "So where do you think you're going with her?" Now her hands were on what appeared to be hips. Her belly spilled out past her animal print shirt and over her black spandex pants. "I was going to look for you, I guess. I live in here. She was in the street, and this car... Well, let me start from the beginning. I was going inside when this car... I attempted to illustrate, but she cut me off. "You're not going anywhere with her. Alicia knows better than to play in traffic. And what do you mean you live inside? I ain't never seen you around here before," she snarled. I wasn't going to lose my cool. After all, I didn't do anything wrong. "That's because I just moved in. I'm sorry, ma'am. I was trying to help. I guess I was looking for you, and I found you. She's too young to be alone," I remarked. If I had been wearing my hat, I would have tipped it just to spite her. But I left it back home. Home. It seemed so far away right then. "Oh, if I see you near her again, I'm calling the law." That was all she could say. I figured I'd level with her. I thought she might be in danger. I wasn't looking to make a friend. I was just trying to help out. Had she been hit, you would have been yelling that I didn't try. "Well, she's not in any danger now, is she? Give her here," she yelled. I'd forgotten that I was still holding onto her hand. "Are you all right?" I asked the girl. She looked upset. "You know you could get her playing in the street, right?" I said softly. Alicia stood staring blankly at her mother, not responding to me. "My name is Sean," I tried again, but still nothing. The mother grabbed her by the shoulders and faced her towards me. She was upset. "She can't hear you. She can't talk to you either. She was born deaf and without a tongue. Now leave us alone, Sean." She whisked the girl away into the building, the mother's thighs rubbing together. I felt pretty bad for getting involved. The driver was right. I should have minded my own business. "That was mighty considerate of you." It was a familiar voice. I turned. It was Victor. "Carmela and her family actually live right above you. I think you scared her. People don't usually bother to help one another around here. It's sad to say, but it's the truth nonetheless. Besides, you did have her child by the hand." He must have been watching. "So, Sean, where are you coming from?" Victor said, sounding genuinely interested. "I was trying to find myself a job. It's considerably more complex than I expected. Do you know if anybody's hiring around here? Nope, I retired myself 3 years ago. He grinned with peace of mind. Wouldn't know it from looking at me though, huh? I'm 67. I'll be 68 this April. The last thing I want to do is thinking of working again. I've paid my dues. And what did you do for a living? I asked. You want to know my job history? Maybe it'll give me an idea of what I'm looking for. Besides, it's got to be more interesting than my resume. I worked on a farm. The end. Well, my first place of employment was in a movie theater in high school. It paid 55 cents an hour, $11 a week. I fooled around a lot on that job. Me and some of my other friend ushers used to shine flashlights on the screen while the movie was playing. So you got to goof off and collect a paycheck? Yeah, nice, huh? I liked it, but quit to go clean a bingo hall 2 times a week for $9. A bingo hall? My face was twisted with surprise. It was better than the movie theater. I also had a job pumping gas. I hated that because I got my hands dirty, so that didn't last long. I stuck with the bingo hall until I was hospitalized in '58 for pneumonia. Oh, that's not good, I said. Well, in a way it was. There I met a Jewish man named Sonnenberg, who was in the bed next to me. He took a liking to me and offered me a position in a garment factory in North Bergen, New Jersey. I took the job and I lived in Jersey with my uncle and aunt. My uncle was on disability at the time because a load of pipes fell on him and broke his legs. At the factory, I marked cloth for sweaters, cut quilts and skirts. On Saturdays, I got to watch models try on clothes. He grinned. That was nice. A few months later, Mr. Sonnenberg moved me to the factory in Hackensack, and that's where I met my wife. She was making pajamas and snow outfits. You were still marking cloth, though? No. At this factory, I cut rubber for the insides of bras. I was making good money, too, $158 a week. But when business got slow, Mr. Sonnenberg let me go. And I don't think he was happy about it. So what'd you do then? In 1967, I moved back to the city, with my wife and 3 kids. I attended a textile vocational school on 18th Street between 8th and 9th Ave. After that, I got a job on Wall Street, handing out telegrams as they came in. It wasn't very exciting, so I left that too. Let me guess, you went back to school, I said. Yes, sir. This time it was for business. I kissed a lot of ass, and I got a job with Kinney Shoes as a manager at their store in Paramus, New Jersey. So you went from Wall Street to selling shoes, I laughed. I wanted to be an auditor, but I had to be a manager first. And I'll tell you, my family was never short on shoes, and my books were always clean. My training manager showed me how to pad the books. And in 1975, I got divorced. She moved back to Jersey with the kids. And in '78, I had an altercation with the district manager of Kinney Shoes. For years, he kept coming in and he'd move my displays. One day, I told him, leave my fucking shoes alone. The next day, I was transferred to Chicago. That store was in the slums. It did $1.2 million a year in sales. $45 of that was lost to outside theft and another $20 to inside theft. A year later, I filed for a transfer back to the East Coast. I got one to Maryland in College Park. I was hoping to be near my kids and wife, who at this point I hardly knew. The company had changed hands, but I stayed on with them until I retired in '92. I never got to be an auditor. Now I'm back in New York collecting my pension, my Social Security, and loafing around and, well, just watching my shows on the tube. That's something else, to end up back here watching television, I said. I couldn't sit in front of the TV for that long. I never had the time, and I guess I never wanted to. Never too old to learn how, young fella. Well, have a sweet and easy day, and good luck to you in your quest for employment. He waved and walked inside. I looked down at my watch. It was just after 4. I'd been sitting there listening to Victor for almost 2 hours. I was famished and strolled over to a cafe I'd passed earlier that looked pretty cool. It was sandwiched at street level, with a beauty salon overhead, among other double-high storefronts. That was something brand new to me. I had nothing like that back home. Inside, the cafe had tables, but instead of regular chairs or booths, this place used love seats and rockers. I sat down in one of the rockers and ordered something to eat. On the walls hung abstract paintings of the Village, Canal Street, Manhattan, Times Square. I only knew that because they each had names below them. In the back of the cafe was a stage. On the top of it was a microphone. At this particular moment, a gentleman in a gray suit, black shirt, white sneakers was attempting to boost his ratings with free air fresheners and a live broadcast. The stage was covered by a banner that said 92.5, rocking the Big Apple to its core. The disc jockey smiled anxiously, waiting for the room to quiet down. When it did, he began. "This is Mad Dog Commence, coming to you live from the classy joint in New York. The city's so nice they named it twice. Here at the joint, the microphone is always on. Anybody can use it as long as you've got something to say. And the Mad Dog's always got something to say. Hope you enjoy this little ditty. I wrote it myself. A farmer and his wife went to a fair. The farmer was fascinated by the old open cockpit airplanes. He asked the pilot how much a ride would cost. $10 for 3 minutes, the pilot replied. That's too much, said the farmer. The pilot thought for a second and said, I'll make you a deal. If you and your wife can ride for 3 minutes without uttering a sound, a single word, the ride will be free. But if you make so much as a peep, you'll pay me the $10. The farmer and his wife agreed and went for a wild ride. After they landed, the pilot said to the farmer, I want to congratulate you for not making a sound. You're a brave man. Maybe so, the farmer began, but I gotta tell you, I almost screamed when my wife fell out. The place was filled with all types of folks, irritable teens to elderly retired people, most of whom clapped for Mad Dog. For the ride home, I'm tossing you a little rock and roll. We got 10 in a row coming at you. After these words from our sponsors, Mad Dog yelled over the clapping. I asked the waiter, is this place always so busy? He replied with a mouthful of gum. Since the competition burned down last month, 92.5 has been doing their live shows here. We were busy before that, though. I mean, how many people would come here to listen to a classic rock jock? This place is known for its flavor. The owner never cleans the grill, and that's what gives the food its taste. And that's why they come. He was Hispanic, not very tall. His nose was big, but it fit his face, which was tan. His hair was cut short and combed forward onto his forehead. He was wearing black pants and a black V-neck shirt with teal and white stripes running down the right arm. All the co-workers had identical uniforms on. Can I get some water? Asked another customer. Are you looking for help? I asked. I felt bad keeping him. He had several tables waiting for something. This was a place I can put in some hours at. That depends. Can you handle waiting tables and people with rotten attitudes? Yo, the food business is rough, he mumbled, while scribbling out someone's check. I can deal with just about anything. I need a job badly, I replied, and that was the truth. He turned and called over the crowd. Hey, Bob, are we taking applications? He said it with a confident voice. This guy here says he'll do anything. Bob answered from the back with a rugged tone, raspy voice. Yeah, why not? We can use someone to clean out the lavatories. He laughed, walking out from the back. Who's looking for the job? Bob asked, surveying the cafe. I knew him immediately. He was the same man who almost hit the little girl in front of the building. He was the guy that was driving the gold Cadillac. Bob's sleeves were rolled up. His hands and forearms were swollen from years behind the grill. He had a tattoo of a snarling dog on his right arm. With hand in air, I replied, that, I guess, would be me. I felt like I was back in school trying to get the teacher's attention. You, huh? You a hard worker? Or just looking to hardly work? Bob was like 5'9", and I'd say close to 300 pounds, and he smelled like lettuce. He reminded me of the Kingpin in the Spider-Man comics. He was bald and his eyebrows were all but missing, as if they had been shaved, plucked, or burnt. His forehead sloped down over his sapphire eyes, almost concealing them. He was in a white smock and black and white checkered pants. He looked to be in his late 30s. I wanted to tell him to shove it, but all that came out was, "I work hard." The son of a bitch sat there and laughed, like it was the funniest thing anyone ever said to him. I really didn't like him. "I'll tell you what, kid. We're open weekdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Breakfast, brunch, lunch. I don't serve dinner. Dinner's quitting time around here. Starting pays $8.50 an hour, plus 15% of the tips from the tables you bus. If you can handle the hours, I'll give you a try, 'cause you humor me. And I've got plenty of chores for you." His breath reeked like the cow barn back home, and his teeth were a yellow amber color. I managed to get out, "Thanks, I won't let you down, Bob," without even a stutter. Thank me by working. I work hard and I expect my employees to do the same. So never tell me there's nothing to do unless the broom's broken and the seats are empty. He departed to the kitchen. Apparently he didn't recognize me, which was fine by me. The waiter came back over and handed me a rip check. "Yo, welcome aboard. My name's Jojo. And since you're working here, the first meal's on me." "I'm Sean O'Brien. That was really nice of you, thank you." On my way out, Bob barked, "8 o'clock sharp, Mr. O'Brien." "Sure thing, Chief." With that comment, I took my leave. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.